Hi there. My name is Lucas Peterson. I'm a retail industry solutions architect at Databricks. And today I want to show you a quick 15-minute demonstration about how Databricks is democratizing the use of data and AI and solving some of the retail industry's biggest problems. So I think this kind of mantra has been said for a while now that the winners in every industry will be data and AI companies. And there's a huge focus on analytics, AI to achieve business value. And Databricks has made this extremely simple by taking the concept of a lakehouse, which is an open, unified foundation to storing all of your data and applying analytics on top of it, while also bringing in generative AI that allows everybody in the organization to easily scale and make use of that. And the new platform, or sort of the new category that we pioneered, is what we call a data intelligence platform. It's the combination of these two elements that allow you to democratize data and AI across your entire organization. And this is how we've been helping those in the retail industry for a decade now to solve some of the world's largest problems. And these are not small companies, right? These are large industry players that bet on Databricks because of its vision, because of its prowess, and because of the capabilities that you'll see today to solve their business needs. So, what are some of the needs of a business around analytics? Typically, we talk about this in terms of a maturity curve. And you might see this described in sort of the analytics that a business is seeking to achieve competitive advantage through like descriptive and then diagnostic, predictive and prescriptive analytics, or sometimes the technologies that they use along the way, whether that's like collecting data, governing and warehousing that data, applying business intelligence, and then kind of moving up to more advanced capabilities. But ultimately, how we get competitive advantage is being able to ask these very simple questions of our business. It starts with kind of the rear view facing, what's happened. We move on to more diagnostic information about why it's happening. We then look to the future and try to understand what will happen in the future, what will happen next, before getting to the ultimate value here of analytics and AI maturity is prescriptive, right? What actions can we take to solve this problem? What should we do about it? So we're going to take this sort of roadmap in Databricks over the next 10 minutes or so, and I'll show you these capabilities and how they come together to solve a business problem. So while we're going through this demo, I just want to keep 3 points in the back of your mind about the data intelligence platform. First, it's extremely easy to use and accessible to your analyst community, your business people, because of its integration with natural language. Second, it's really simple to operate. You won't see a lot of knobs and bells and whistles. A lot of things are automated behind the scenes, leveraging AI and understanding your semantics of your data to really democratize the abilities that you'll see today. And then, of course, dealing with data, dealing with AI is an extremely sensitive topic in today's world. When we're keeping information about customers, suppliers, it's important to know that Databricks takes governance and security extremely seriously. So everything that will work in today, all of the assets that you can create in Databricks from your files, tables, machine learning models, and beyond, can all be governed in a very sensitive manner. Okay, so let's jump into the demo. Our demo is going to start today how most analytics projects typically get started, and that's with a problem. So I'm going to take the role here of a data analyst at a fictional retail organization. We sell sporting equipment and running equipment, t-shirts, hats, shoes, those types of things. And my manager gets this Databricks SQL automated alert. Our business has been telling us to focus more on customer churn. It's a KPI that they've been tracking, and our IT team has set up this alert to track when this KPI hits certain thresholds. So this customer alert comes across in an email and says, "Hello, we've got a triggered alert for your historic customer churn. We're seeing it kind of an all-time high. My manager sends me this, says, hey, what can we do about it? Let's use Databricks. Let's use the power of the data intelligence platform to solve this problem for the business and provide the marketing and customer experience teams with a solution so they can tackle this problem. So next, what we're going to do is we're going to switch into Databricks. We're just going to follow this hyperlink here, which should take us to a dashboard that will help us to understand the problem and come up with a solution for customer churn. So here I am in a dashboard that the IT organization has set up for the business using some of the KPIs that they've asked to track. And we can immediately see the problem. Churn is through the roof, right? Up and to the right every week for the past couple of years. And we've also see this broken down by a couple of demographic information like gender, country, and age group. Though it's maybe not extremely familiar to me or doesn't jump off the page as to why there's an issue with churn. And for that, I'm actually going to take this into edit mode and make some tweaks to the dashboard that might better help me understand the root cause of the issue. And instead of spending time, gathering the right data and building the perfect visualization, I'm instead just going to leverage the assistant here and ask questions of the data that should help me to generate better visuals. So I'll ask the assistant to split the chart by country, and it will now register and show me a new updated visualization. And I thought that maybe country had something to do with it. Like there might be one country that was immediately seeing more churn than the others, but that doesn't look to be the case. They all kind of follow the steady trend line of up and to the right. So maybe that's a dead end. However, I know that this information, this customer history is based on like demographic and order information, but let's investigate maybe the data itself a little bit more and see where it comes from. So I can see immediately that the data set used here is the historic customer churn gold data set. And I can just use the natural language search to globally search across all of Databricks for this data and try to understand it better. And doing so should bring me to the search results page, which again is a global search across everything in Databricks. So all tables, notebooks, jobs, and anything else that follows these sort of semantic keywords or descriptions should show up. And I see the data set I'm looking for is immediately right there. And I get some good information about this table, about how it was built, the comments that was created with generative AI that makes it easier for people like me to search for it, and some of the tags on some of the columns. But just looking through some of these columns, some of them jump out to me like canal or total item, and maybe I'm not totally familiar with what some of those are. So I'll just ask AI to generate some comments as well to help me understand this data. Okay, that makes more sense. Canal is the preferred purchasing channel of the customer. Okay, so what I'm not seeing in this data by looking at either the overview or some sample data is any information from like our clickstream team, right? Our events on the web app or the mobile applications that could be valuable in determining if there's an impact to churn there. So for that, I'm actually going to switch over to the SQL experience and bring in some of that data myself. When it comes to data ingestion, there are no shortage of options with Databricks, whether you're more of a data engineer and you prefer Spark or structured streaming, or if you're more of an analyst role like myself, who's kind of in between the programming and the drag and drop or the upload data. The SQL experience is perfect because in just a few lines of code here, 3 to be exact, I'm able to bring in this new data set. It's just a collection of CSV files that lives out on this data lake location. And I can immediately start analyzing that data and bringing in this data. And what's special about a streaming table is that it's incremental, meaning if I add more events down the road, maybe new events get populated every day, new data is added to this location every day, it will only process the incremental data. I'm going to go ahead and run Now that we've brought this data in, this new data has information such as, clicks, views, logs on the website, what platform they came from, and this could all be helpful in determining churn. I can also build some visualizations immediately, like bar charts. Maybe I want to look at platform. Oh, I can see that, iOS is by far our dominant platform for people interacting with our store. But now that I've got this data in, I need to blend it together with the historical churn data to create a more compelling set of feature data set that I can run through an AI model. So my next query is a little more advanced and combines these different data sets. However, I'll let you in on a little secret. I didn't actually write this query. For that, I went on over to the Databricks assistant, which essentially is a companion copilot that helps you to diagnose errors, write code, and answer questions about Databricks and the technology. And I can simply ask a question like, create a materialized view that joins together my new data set with the old data set, and immediately it comes back with, hey, here's some SQL that you can put in the editor. Okay, so now I've got my data. It's time to perform some predictive analytics on it. I'm not really much of a data scientist, being more of the analyst role here. So I'm going to take advantage of some of the automated capabilities with Databricks, namely AutoML. And AutoML is a capability that allows me to build predictive models very quickly from scratch in more of a menu-based problem, or menu-based way of doing so. So I just need to pick the type of problem. I want to predict churn or not churn. So it's a classification problem. I can find my data set, right? It's in my catalog. And it was the features table, for example, or my ML churn features. And then I just need to pick my prediction target, right? And I'm predicting for churn. And that's it. It will kick off a series of many different runs and test many different machine learning algorithms and tune the hyperparameters to give me a baseline model. So let's just switch over to one that's already completed. And here's one, for example. And I can see in just a few minutes, I was able to produce, hundreds of different models in here that went through the data and tried to build a good predictive machine learning model for churn. The best one being this light gradient boosted machine. And all of this information is now captured. It's stored in what we call MLflow, which is the end-to-end machine learning operations lifecycle tool in Databricks. It's an open source framework and allows me to save everything about this model along all in the same place. Should I ever have to revisit or see how this model was trained, I've got all of the metrics, the artifacts, and the resulting and the parameters that went into the model. And I can see all of that information on a single screen. Now, all that's left is to register this model. Can register it with a single click and start serving this model in real time, or in my case, making batch predictions for the marketing team so they can see who's likely to churn in the future. So I'm going to skip forward a little bit and just assume that I've already done so. Switch on over here and I can view my churn predictions. And now I've got that column, customer churn prediction, where I've predicted which customers are likely to churn in the future. And now I'm asking myself, okay, my manager has asked me to better understand churn, come up with a solution for who's likely to churn. Now, what's a good way to present these findings back to the team? Now, I could go with a dashboard. We've already seen that capability, but I know my manager, he always has 100 questions, and I can only fit maybe 10, 20 visualizations on a dashboard before it starts looking crowded. And it might not cover every single question that a business user might have. So instead, what I'm going to do is bring this data into a data room, which provides more of that conversational experience backed by any of the tables that I put here. So I can see that I've uploaded the table churn prediction, right? There's my churn prediction column. directly into this data room. And now anybody can come in here and start asking questions like, how many customers churned last week, right? And sake of time, I'm going to skip ahead to one that's already been completely filled out here. I can see how many customers churned last month, and I can ask hundreds of questions about my data, many more than can fit on a dashboard. And people can come in here and save their chats and start to interrogate this predictive data any way they see fit. Like, is there a correlation between churn and age group? Immediately visualize that data, churn and gender, and so on. So in just a few hours of time, I've been able to understand the problem, bring in my own data, meld it together with historical data, produce a machine learning algorithm, predict the results, and display it in an easy to consume format for my business users. But this doesn't get to that top of the maturity curve that we talked about, right? Being prescriptive action. What am I actually going to do about it? Now, I want to go above and beyond here and actually give the marketing team some suggestions, a tool that allows them to prescribe something to their customers or our customers who are likely to churn to keep them around a little longer, make those extra purchases, and to do so in a personalized manner, because that's extremely important in this new digital transformation, personalization world that retail is living in today. So in order to do so, I'm going to go back to my Unity catalog schema where I've saved this information. And if we think about the AI system that I'm proposing here, it's a mix of maybe a conversational interface that's really easy to engage with, easy to generate marketing copy that could be important for a customer. LLMs are great for that task. But we also need to enrich it with data in our enterprise, right? We have information about our customers, like who's likely to churn, what was their past purchase history, and what kind of offer would make sense for them, right? Maybe it's a 15% off your next order, or buy one, get one pair of socks, right? Something that entices them to come back. And that's all structured information that I have sitting in a table, like my marketing features. And let's assume that I want an LLM application to be able to access this data. Well, it's as easy as a single click to create an online table. And now, anytime I ask a question about a specific user, this AI application can now reach in to my enterprise data and surface that up as insights. But I really like to combine it as well with some unstructured data. We have information about our different items, our different products in here. As a retail business having, potentially hundreds of vendors, all with hundreds and thousands of products, I might have a very large list of items, of products that I sell, right? Different SKUs. And each of those comes with their own unique description. And maybe if a customer in the past has purchased our everyday running t-shirt, and we understand the key features and that they're interested in full range of motion and moisture wicking fabric, maybe there's a pair of running shoes that best goes along with that we could, with our marketing copy, our email, essentially provide not only some structured information like a campaign or buy one, get one, but also a similarity search of what product might entice them, what's going to help them really minimize that user journey to getting something that they desire. So I want to serve up this information as well, this unstructured data, and I can, again, in one click, this time create a vector search index. And a vector search index allows an LLM essentially to reach into unstructured data, text, images, video, and pull out content from unstructured data. So I've gone ahead and done this. And last thing I want to show you all is how we put this all together. So we're going to follow this LLM pattern, this AI application pattern called retrieval augmented generation, in which the LLM is able to use tools in its tool belt, whether it's structured data, unstructured data, to produce a really compelling piece of content for a customer. Maybe it's an email in this case. So I'm going to skip through this notebook for the most part. I'm going to assume that a machine learning engineer has helped me to set this up. We've already created some serving endpoints to serve our structured data as well as our unstructured data, those vector search indexes. And the last piece of the puzzle is to pair it with a machine learning, or excuse me, a large language model like Llama 2 or the recently announced DBRX from Databricks, which can easily be that conversational interface on top of this. And then the last step is to assemble this all into what's called a chain, or essentially combining all these features together, making a really nice experience for the marketing team. So my chain includes access to that underlying structured data, access to that unstructured data, and a prompt template, right? You're going to be producing emails. This is the role. I want you to generate emails, and you should greet the customer using their first name. You've got to look that up. I need you to look at their past purchase history, look at the descriptions, look for similar products, and I need you to find the customer marketing campaign and provide it to the customer to entice them to come back. And then last but not least, I'm just testing it right here in the notebook. Hey, let's send out an email to Connor. Here's his information. You can go search it, look it up, and here's the result, right? A nice formatted, easy to understand email that my marketing folks can now take and automate some of this process, right? They can take it and tweak it or immediately put it in an activation platform. And so not only have we understood who's likely to churn in the future, but we've taken some action to assist them in preventing and solving the problem and getting to that real business value. So that's going to do it for the demo today. I know we covered a lot, but thank you for the time and attention. And just to summarize what we went through, we noticed there was an issue with customer churn at a retail organization. We did some business intelligence and diagnostic type of analytics to understand the problem. We combined some of our own data with the data that was available, created a machine learning model, which we could use to predict who's likely to churn in the future, before ultimately taking it to an AI application that had, tools that from everything we'd built before, that was able to generate a very personalized piece of content to keep that customer around. So thank you for the time.